Hi everybody, in this video I will talk about promise and how to use promise to read JSON file. Assume that we have a task and the task has some of the state. So I will use the promise. The promise will give you the fulfill or the unfulfill action means that it is successful and finished. Pending means that the task is doing, and reject means the task or the result is fail or unsuccessful. Then using promise, you remember that the then function means that it called when the previous task has finished and come to the action in then. Open the previous lesson. We open the blank project in so we have one NodeJs file. The package.json have a node mom, and the script start the file in with Babel and with file in index.js, and we use NodeMom to update the code automatically. You can open this lesson from several video of this playlist. I have just taught you more very detailed. Then you install the promise module by typing this and check in the JSON. We have the promise. This is automatically added to this file when you run with --save. So you call npm start to start this project. So you can write code in the index.js. You create a new file or module. In this file, I do import the promise, and I will use this promise and write some function in this file or this module. And this is some of my function or public function, so you can use this in other file. Firstly, I will talk about an example of promise. For example, we have a property here point to a function, point to an arrow function. We have left arrow is an input parameter, and the right of the arrow is an implementation of the arrow function. Inside this, I return a new promise project, and inside the parameter of promise we have an arrow function, and the arrow function has two property: fulfill state means that the promise representing a successful operation, and the reject state is a promise representing a fail or unsuccessful operation. So we can use this fulfill or reject. Then assume that in this we have some of the tasks to do, and the task may be successful or unsuccessful, and I check this variable. For example, if the variable is true, I will call the fulfill function, and vice versa, I call the reject function if it is unsuccessful or fail. Then in this I call the fulfill function with the input is the phone, and the phone object has name as color. For example, the iPhone name, and color is black. And inside the reject we create an arrow object, and set this to the input parameter of the reject function. So this will have fulfill or reject. So in the main file, I import this in the index.js. I import this and call this function, and this function will become a promise. Then I inputted iPhone 7 Plus and call then. Remember that I use then, and inside then we have the arrow function. It means result after I call the function by an iPhone. So I show to the screen the response object, and I open the terminal and see that it is successful. The case of fulfill, or the case of fulfill, it has iPhone 7 Plus and Black. But when I change this to false, I will call the then. Now not then, you use catch, not then. And inside catch, I also have an arrow function that arrow is the input, and implementation that I show to the screen about the arrow. So in this case, I see that okay, arrow, I am not happy with this. I come to the for. Okay, then this is reject, and remember that we have reject and we have fulfill. The second here, I import this library or this module file system, and file system has a method read file or function read file, and notify. Denotify function is a function that converts this function to promise. This function will be called to promise, so I can use a promise syntax to call this function. Okay, so I call this by using read file, json file. Your option is utf-8 and call then. It can call then because it is promise. Then inside this we have response and the implementation after we have the response. So I can you remember that denotify allow the function read file become a promise function, and here I return I convert the response after I get the data. I convert the response to the json object and put the return here. So I can clone this in the main file in index.js. You can clone to this json file, and the input is the file name and clone then. And inside the then we have the arrow function that we have a json object, and I can print out to the screen the json object. I create my json file here, json file.json. Okay, this file will contain some of the key and value. So we have an email, and it is an array. So key is email, and the value is an array of email. So I can clone this email list equal to JSON object equal to email key. Then you change it to the path to the file. The JSON file path src/json file.json. So we see that email list is my email list in the file. So it is convenient when you add more and remove. What about this? So in this example, I will show you about a sample of promise and a sample of how to use a pre-built promise. And this is useful when you want to work with the promise. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more exciting video. Bye bye.